Hello, welcome to UCA's Coronavirus Initiative webinar series. This is the first webinar for the United States and parts in this time zone, roughly. My name is Bob Levine. I am the CEO and founder of University Consultants of America. We are an independent educational consultant helping students with the application process for English-speaking colleges and universities, as well as graduate schools. Today we'll be talking about a few things, primarily what to do during this stressful time. We are in the midst of the coronavirus. It is March 2020, as well as what to do about the online learning that most of us are facing, at least most of you are facing. So let us start, before we get to that, by talking about certain trends in U.S. admissions. What we've seen over the last year has been some changes in terms of what the U.S. colleges are looking for, primarily because of adjustments in the way rankings and the business of education is done. We have seen changes to how they pick students and how many students they're picking from. Essentially, they have moved away from more applicants and trying to get what we might call better applicants, or applicants who are more interested in going to their school. You see, the job isn't to make offers to students, it's to collect students to go to the university. Now, this idea that students should demonstrate interest and identify themselves as genuinely interested has been around for a while, but there's been more pressure on that recently. For this class of 2020, where the admissions offers are coming out any moment now, in fact, today is Ivy Day, we're seeing a lot fewer acceptances, meaning that the colleges are accepting fewer people and then trying to get the very interested ones off the waiting list. This is a trend that's going to continue, and it will continue for the next class and the class after that. So we're seeing things like more wait lists, very late interviews, but the connection between the school and the student is something that you must impress them with during the entire application process. Certainly with coronavirus, there have been some changes for the next class, the high school class of 2021. And so I want you to understand what has and has not occurred. Before we get to things to do now, they're canceling tests. So what you'll want to be doing is getting prepared for the SAT or ACT. Now, preparation means two things. Number one, sign up for the tests. Test centers fill. And with cancellations across the world for May 2020 and cancellations internationally for March 2020, if there are June tests, they're going to be very full. And the August test will also be very full. Make sure you sign up early, or you can be outside looking in, literally. But please also understand that the regular flow has changed. Typically, it's pretty busy now with people preparing for the May and June tests. And that means the test tutors are busy now. But this year, they're not. Because so many tests have been canceled, people aren't paying attention to test preparation, and they're not getting with their tutors. If you think that you can get to the best tutors in the world during the summer, again, you might be on the outside looking in. Right now, this time, this year, right now, is when we recommend getting to your test tutors. They're actually a little quiet. They have time. And if you're at home, you have time. When June and July come around, you may not have the opportunity. So definitely prepare. The other thing is to do your extracurriculars. Now, we hear this all the time. I'm not in school. How can I do my extracurriculars? It is extracurricular, meaning beyond curriculum. That can be in school, but it might also be beyond school. And it should be. I was talking to a student last week. What can I do? And I said to him, you're a leader of your class. You're the president. You're a leader of almost every club you belong to. Now you're home. What are you doing? What are you doing to lead your class? Are you talking to your friends? Are you helping them with their online work? Are you talking to the others in your class or the others in your school? Are you working with your teachers to make their work maybe a little easier? Are you getting in touch with your counselor, not only for your purposes, but for the entire class? What can you do now that there's extra time? Now, we're going to have a whole webinar on how to do this. But please don't think that because school is closed, you can't do anything. Truth is, it's an opportunity. You have more time. So be aware of that. We do want to talk about stress. Now, the first part is easy. Here are 2 tips. Take care of yourself. Duh. Eat right, rest, exercise. You don't need an expert in college admissions to tell you that. However, you also need to understand what you're doing. And that starts with understanding the admissions process. So I'm going to explain it to you, because if you understand something, you don't fear the unknown. The US process is very different than the process around the world. And it's different within the US. There are basically 2 admissions processes. The first is generally used by public universities. This is a numbers-based process. Get good grades, do well on SAT, ACT, and that's the starting point. And for many people, it's the end. For people on the line, they'll look at your resume, they'll look at an essay, but they're really not looking at you holistically, which means the entire person, not in the way they say. That holistic process is used by private universities. Private universities are looking for something different, and they will quite literally grade you in multiple areas. What are they? Number 1, your academics. They want to see what your academic performance has been, and they want to see what your academic potential may be. Number 2, all the stuff you do outside the classroom, the non-academic activities. And number 3, they're going to grade you on who you are as a human being. Now I'm going to show it to you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Harvard interview report form. It's actually the old form. They flipped the numbers a little bit. But I want to show you what I just told you. First thing is, they will give you a number grade in academics. In this case, the scale is 1 to 6. Other schools are 1 to 9 or 1 to 5. Some schools are 9 to 1. It's just a number thing. But they're going to look at your academics, and I know you're very focused on that one. Please understand, they're not focusing quite the same way you think they are. Yes, get good grades, get high test scores. But my guess is they will evaluate your academics really quickly. In fact, an MIT admissions person once said it takes about 1/3 of a second. I don't think that's true. I think it probably takes about 15 seconds, maybe 30. The courses you're taking, they've seen them before. They're basically looking at your grades and your scores and anything else that's about your brain, research, competitions, etc., even dyslexia. And from there, they'll give you a number, but it doesn't take long. Probably takes less time to review your academics than I've been talking about it. Then they review your non-academic stuff. Harvard happens to have 5 words for it, but basically all the things you do outside the classroom that aren't brain-based, here they are. Now, I'm going to tell you very quickly that there are 4 things that they evaluate in coming up to this number scheme. There they are. How long you've done something, how well you've done, what kind of an impact you made on others and how far, and how original it may be. But essentially, they're going to grade your extracurriculars as well, and then they will grade your human side. Now, in fact, Harvard actually has something called personal qualities. Dartmouth called it character. But anytime there are essays and recommendation letters and interviews and things like that, those are entirely subjective. And you'll notice that the descriptions for number 1, 2, and 3 look pretty similar in the sense that the last 4 words are the same in each: personal, appealing, character. Personal, appealing, character don't help them figure out who's who because, well, they're the same 4 words. So it's left with rare, strong, above average. That's not great guidance. But what is most important to understand is that the subjective nature of this means that the people they evaluate, they will decide either I like that person or I don't care. It's all or nothing. It's more black and white in this subjective gray area. And that's why essays, interviews, recommendation letters can be so important. By the way, if you have not reached out to teachers and you're in 11th grade, not reached out to them about recommendation letters, now's a good time. You can get to them. It's called email. You can do this. Okay. So that is the Harvard scale, and you will see that after the end, they get an overall rating, which quite honestly looks mostly like the way they do the human side. And that's why we focus so much on your personal and interpersonal qualities in helping you with the essays and the like. All right. Now, online learning. We have heard from parents, particularly in China, who started this 2 months before the US. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. The education is inferior. This is going to destroy my child's future. Whatever shall we do? No. Let's start with understanding the parts of online learning that are the same and the parts that are different. What is the same? The way you learn. When you're in a classroom, you basically learn by absorbing information. And you absorb from two places, your eyes and your ears. This is known as visual learning and auditory learning. Well, right now you're staring at a screen. You're listening to my voice. You're using your eyes and your ears in online learning. It's the same kind of learning. However, there are two things that are different. One of those is the social nature of being in school. There are friends, new people to meet, chances to talk, which do not exist when you're sitting at home at your desk, staring at the screen. In addition, you are locked up in what I call day prison. You are in school, in your classroom, on a schedule, and that is very different. So let's talk about some tips, 4 tips to help you with your online learning. Number 1, remove the distractions. For example, this thing has been going off while I've been talking to you. If you are texting using WhatsApp, Snapchat, WeChat, while you're working, you're distracted. If you have video game controllers at the same place that you're trying to do your study, you're going to be distracted. This is an environment that has distractions all around you. You can't see them, but in front and behind me are my electric guitars. I'm thinking about them right now. You know what else people think about when they're home by themselves? You know, I think I deserve a snack. I think I'll go to the refrigerator. Start by taking things away from your space, or at least moving to a different place in your home. Go into the dining room. People can actually watch you. It's okay. But get away from the things that you normally do that distract you from doing the work. It'll help. Number 2, don't complain about the teachers not doing a good job on the online learning. They're probably teaching the same material pretty much in the same way. But even if they're not, don't complain. Do something about it. Supplement your learning. A few years ago, we had a student who told me that he was struggling in APUSH, AP US History. I said, what's the problem? And he says, my teacher's terrible. I said, oh, well, that's not good. But that's on you. What do you mean? I just told you my teacher's terrible. I'm like, yeah, I know. So do you. Why would you let an inferior instructor destroy your future? Can I ask you the same question? If you think you're getting inferior materials, why are you limiting yourself? Go further. Supplement your learning. You can contact the teachers, but even beyond that, you can look online. There are amazing resources. If you're doing AP, which is developed by College Board, they have a partnership with Khan Academy. You don't think they have information about the various courses you're taking? International Baccalaureate, IB, they have partners too. You don't think you can find out additional information about your classes? Okay, maybe you're not in AP, maybe you're not in IB, maybe you're not in Cambridge ACE. Maybe there is no partner. There's the internet. You can go look on YouTube in most parts of the world. You can do a search. If that doesn't work, try edX or Coursera. These are online educational courses presented by incredible universities from all around the world. The material's there. But if that doesn't work, consider a tutor. This is what they do. These are professional instructors. Sometimes hearing from a different voice allows you to understand things in a much better way. But here's the deal. Don't allow inferior material to stop you. Do something about it. Don't complain that your learning is inferior because somebody else is at fault. Number 3, please understand that learning online is really different than learning in the classroom or learning in school. You're focusing on the screen. And focus requires energy. This is why we get so tired in taking a 3-hour standardized test for college admissions. Focus is intense when you're looking online, more so than in a classroom. You're actually using more calories when you're focusing online. So do your work in shorter bursts. In our experience, and I've worked with over 1,000 high school students, in our experience, about 45 minutes, maybe an hour, is about as long as you're going to get. In fact, when I was in college, the longest I could ever focus was 3 hours. Then I was done. After that, I could come back later today for an hour and a half, but there's a limit. Think quality learning, not quantity of time. So parents, if you see your student not studying, that's okay, as long as you also see your student actually studying and doing a good job of it. Focus in shorter bursts. Finally, and maybe most importantly, structure your day. When you're in high school, you have classes at certain hours. In fact, the bell rings and you go from one to another and you have a lunch period. And somebody else has structured your life, at least during the school day. Now that's been taken away. How do you know how to be productive in a day that's now just open with no schedule? You're not experienced at it. You're not trained at it. You're certainly not practiced at it. So don't expect that to go well. Instead, put in a structure. Now, I'm not just talking about your structure. I'm talking about something external to you, something that's not dependent upon you. Put in a meeting at a certain time. It could be a meeting with a tutor. It could be a meeting with a consultant. It could be a social meeting. Yeah, just put in a time that between here and here, I must be doing something with somebody else. Because that gives you a structure of some time before your meeting and time after the meeting. Trust me, when I have a full day of meetings, I'm really busy, but I don't get the meetings done. Then if I have a day with no meetings, I pretty much get almost nothing done. The best day is when I have about 3 meetings spaced out, because I have time before, then the meeting, then time after, before the next one, meeting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Structuring your day is really important. And in fact, if you think about it, that's exactly what happens in college. You have a couple of classes, maybe 3 in a day. And so you have a 9 o'clock class for an hour, and then maybe you have a class at 1 o'clock, and then maybe at 4 o'clock. Because you can focus for a certain period of time, and strangely, by putting more things into your schedule, better things happen with your schedule. Otherwise, with the day having no structure, it just goes by. It slides past you. So those are 4 tips. Please don't stress. If you are in 11th grade going to 12th, if you are going to be part of the next college admission season, yeah, they know that coronavirus is everywhere. They know that you're out of school. You're the same. Same situation as everybody else. The universities will understand. They will make adjustments. We want you to make the best possible adjustments for you. We want you to understand how to use your time and how not to stress. So we give you these free information to help as many people as possible. If you know somebody else who may benefit from UCA's Coronavirus Initiative webinar series, please let them know. This is free. We want to help as many people as possible. And I leave you with one question. It has two parts. And here's the question. You've got all this time. The future may be uncertain, but the present is today. So here's the question. Do you wish to be great? And if so, when do you want to start? Let's start now, because I do this job for one reason. I'm too old to change the world, but you're not. I want to be a part of that. So, from Tampa, Florida, the international headquarters of University Consultants of America, I am Bob Levine, founder and CEO of UCA. I wish you the best of luck. If you need more information, please reach out to us. We'll be glad to help you out. Want to know more about our services? We can help you with that too. For those in grade 12 who are hearing from the Ivy Leagues, good luck today. Have a great time, whether it's day or night. We hope to see you for our next US webinar, which will again be 5:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time next Thursday. Take care. Hope to see you soon.